going on? What are we doing? Solo agents. Solo agents. So we wanted to really touch on that today and talk to you guys about what that means for us and how that, what kind of changes we're going to be seeing. For myself, really not too much. It's just I'm going to be able to work with my clients one-on-one, listing, buying for you guys.
I know there's been a lot of speculation because we hang out a lot and collaborate together.
Friends.
That we have created a team, although we all left from the same team. We are not officially a team. We just love working with each other, and honestly, everything's always better when you have multiple heads.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's that.
We've also been asked quite a bit whether we're still with Century 21 Millennium, and that is correct. We are. We have not left our brokerage home. We love it here.
Love it.
Yes.
Love it. Yes.
So we're going to stay. And yeah, I think it's just giving us all a little bit more freedom to put our own kind of mark on our level of business. And
Well, that, and I know all of us have talked about before, being able to take our clients through the entire transaction process ourselves, versus when we were on the team, one agent would take care of the listing, the other would take care of the buy side, and we all just sort of individually on our own felt that our clients were better served individually.
yeah,
I think I fall in love with my clients too much. I don't want to get them away.
Yes.
No,
I know.
they're mine.
Well, and in this particular market, it does pay to know their situation.
Yes. Yeah.
Like through and through, right?
And I think right now, to your point, it's a very emotional market. Like we are going in multiple times on houses. We're losing so much because it's such a crazy market, and you really build that bond with your clients. And I know we've had a few houses in the last few weeks that sometimes they're not necessarily selling in the first 2 days, 3 days, and they are taking a couple weeks. So having that connection and support for your client is super important as well for myself.
Which will take us into our market stats in a
Yeah.
second. Nailed it. Hey Dorothy, thanks for watching. So that's just a quick note on what we have all done with our business and why we're here. And of course, if you guys do have any other questions, you can reach out to us via DM or message us later. We're doing our best if we keep looking at our computers and screens, just trying to monitor your questions and feedback.
Feel free to throw out some questions if there's anything that you want to know. Toss it out there.
Everybody's really quiet. So.
I know. Everybody say hi.
I'm
Wait.
so happy that we have people tuning in though.
Hi, real live
Hi
people.
Nick, hi Jesse.
Not bots that we hired and paid money to watch the show.
Let's not forget to thank our old neighbors.
Yes.
Yes, Greystones.
Greystones Cafe.
Yeah.
We got some yummy, delicious treats for after the show today.
Yeah.
Fueled.
What are you guys drinking today?
I just have drip coffee. It's delicious.
Did you have to wait an hour for that drip coffee?
I did not. It was already ready. There was no one in there. It was raining, so I think everyone was kind of hiding. And I went in. The girls are lovely. Always pleasant in there.
Yes,
so
I love it.
yeah, it's great, and it's such a great atmosphere. I kind of wanted to just stay there and
I know.
have my coffee in peace.
I know I miss being next door to them.
It was nice.
It's a bit of a hike to get down there now, but well worth it.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. You always rock it too, Dorothy. So next topic on the list was market stats.
Market stats. We just wanted to give a little bit more reference point, I guess is the word.
A less boring
version of market stats. Because we see lots of like infographics get sent around with a whole bunch of numbers on it, and everyone looks at current prices, great, but just to give you kind of some more perspective and some experience as to what's actually happening when we're out there dealing with clients. So the month of September slowed down in the sense of new listings. We've been crying and crying and crying for the last 2 years, I think, pretty much. But inventory is extremely low, but it went down very low. And in saying that, it did help though to keep our prices up. So year over year, September last year compared to September this year, our prices are up 20%, which I know a lot of people sometimes grumble that real estate is not a good investment, but I don't know how in recent years you could argue that point because it has proved the complete opposite. So
and still none of the financial professionals are giving any kind of indication that
doom and gloom.
There's going to be a recession. Interest rates are still at an all-time low. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. But on your touch point of year over year, we also have half the inventory than we did last September.
So we're still seeing crazy multiple offer situations. Having said that though, I feel like it is very property specific too, though.
It is.
We
Very
did see
much.
kind of an influx of, no, I don't want to say less desirable properties, but not like the cookie cutter thing that everybody's looking for. And that's where you're seeing a little bit longer days on market, but still getting like very strong prices.
Yeah.
There's nothing, you know.
It's still
People are
say a
still-
minimum, 98% of ask?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
most of the time, yeah.
Yeah.
I think once in a while you get those little ones that maybe have priced on the higher end and people are coming in a little bit lower if it needs the work, if it needs the upgrades, if it hasn't had the kitchen, the bathroom, the floors. Those ones I'm kind of seeing sitting a little bit longer.
Yes, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless they have investment potential.
Yes.
Yes, yeah. Then
Yes.
you're starting to get those investors still coming in and saying, okay, well you can rent this out for X amount of dollars, rent the basement out for X amount of dollars. Is it going to make you what you need?
Well, because rent is still at an all-time high
Crazy.
as well.
Bidding
So-
wars on rent.
Side note, if you are thinking of moving and you're thinking of selling and your property has income potential,
Mm-hmm.
give one of us a shout
Yeah.
because it'll fly. on that
Yes,
stuff. You'll do
Absolutely.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think also, do we kind of touch on that? I've had a lot of people say that they want to cash out on this market and sell and go
And-
rent.
Yeah.
And
I've had
that's
clients
another
do that.
struggle that I've seen some of my clients coming into. I've gone into,
Would you recommend that?
I don't, it's hard. It's really
I don't.
what's your own personal preference? Are you willing to take that risk? And if you can't find a rental right away, can you find someone to stay with? Like, I think there is opportunity there.
Mhm.
It's not necessarily not going to happen,
Mm-hmm.
I think
but
that
it's
depends on your
specific on your client.
life stage and your
Yes.
phase and where you're at. I know a
If
lot
I was a
of
single girl with no kids and husband, maybe I would sell my house and take off, but I probably wouldn't own a house.
Mm-hmm.
right, because then it's, you know, if your goal is to continue in home ownership, then the question is, well, how do you get back into home ownership?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So if you're, a lot of the people that we've been helping sell are moving out of country, out of province,
Mhm.
Exactly. Yeah.
or they're doing multi-generational homes,
Yeah.
which is a totally different scenario, obviously.
Mhm.
But if you were considering selling your home to maximize profits and then rent, I mean, really, you're just gonna end up spending all of your profits
On
putting
rent.
them in someone else's pocket.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Unless you have a high interest account when you're making a ton of money back.
Yeah.
Very, very high.
Yes, very
Stock
high.
market, which isn't doing very well right now either.
Yeah, it's
Oh, so
definitely
many people.
something I think
Yeah.
that you need to have a long discussion and really weigh out the pros and cons there.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's like I have a few clients that have actually done that with retirement plans. So it's okay, we're gonna cash in now, so we know what equity we have to build our retirement home, for example.
Mhm.
Or, you know, it's the tricky scenario where you're shopping for a certain budget of a property, hoping that you're going to get for your house, but the market has quickly changed too. Like we're seeing some of the rural properties hasn't been as crazy.
Yeah.
They have been sitting a little bit longer, so there's a little bit of fear there. And well, I don't want to get caught owning two houses, so maybe I do that and I stay with a relative for a little bit, waiting for that perfect property to come up. So I don't know. To each his own. I think. Give us a shout and talk to us about your situation. Yes.
yeah.
And we can advise based on that.
And I
Yeah.
think that's a big touch point is that you're always welcome to call us, or if you have your own agent, call them, and like
Yeah.
that's what our job is.
Yeah.
People are always like, I'm so sorry to bother you.
No, please.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah.
Literally, that's what I'm
Please
here
call
for.
me.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, to help guide you and steer you in the direction you're hoping to go. And if it's, in my opinion, not the best move, then, you know,
tell
we
you.
will let you know our opinion, but at the end of the day, it's still your choice.
Exactly. Yeah.
Did you want to touch on the prices that we've been seeing lately too?
I can say that prices have basically for detached have remained pretty strong. Like I said, over 20% year over year. We're still at just under 900,000 average price for a detached home in Orangeville, and about 800 for Shelburne. Shelburne, we've also seen kind of a lull in activity.
Shelburne is really dry for inventory.
Yeah,
So I don't think it's a lull per se in
demand.
demand. Prices are pretty darn close to Orangeville right now.
Yeah,
So if
yeah,
you're thinking of selling in Shelburne,
yeah,
give us a shout
Mhm.
because there are only 10 houses
yeah.
on market right now in Shelburne.
And still a lot of demand. A lot of people are going up that way. They're
Yeah.
willing
Yeah.
to do that commute. And I know, like, years ago when I bought in Shelburne, there was probably about $100,000 difference between Orangeville and Shelburne, and that gap, like you said, has really started to shrink. So
Well, with the newer developments,
Yeah.
All of the
There's a
infrastructure and
McDonald's
amenities.
coming.
McDonald's. I'm pretty excited about Menard Grounds. Not gonna lie. I have to drive to
I
Alliston.
love those holders.
But yeah, prices definitely remain
Yeah.
really strong.
Yep. Yeah.
And that what blew my mind was the townhome prices.
Yeah, that's another thing we wanted to talk about actually was townhome prices are actually rising faster than semi-detached or detached. So that's showing us the demand for entry-level housing, for lack of a better word. So,
Yeah.
you know, typically investors will buy townhouses as well as rental properties.
Yeah.
But that's kind of showing. So pointing in that for future predictions, you know, there's all this talk of doom and gloom. There's like, you know, and people don't really know what's going to happen. But in my personal opinion, I feel like once our immigration gets really opened back up, we're going to see a lot more pressure.
Mm-hmm.
So unless we do have a huge influx of inventory come on the market, which I don't know how because everyone has to live somewhere. So, yeah.
Because we were in Orangeville, $753,000 is the average price in September for a town.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, although that seems astronomical,
Yeah.
most of the townhomes in Orangeville are new
Are newer
builds.
builds. Yes, that's true too.
0 to 5 years old, whereas the detached, you're getting such a mixed bag.
Yep.
Yes.
So to put it in perspective, right? If you're looking to buy a 0 to 5 year old detached home, you're probably going to be looking closer to $950 million.
Yeah.
Yes.
Over that.
So you got to take all that with a grain of salt, right? There are still one sold on Lawrence the other couple days ago in the 5s.
Yeah.
But it is a condo
townhouse, which that's the highest prices those condo townhouses have ever sold for
Crazy
ever
to
in
me.
history.
But just, you know, so peace of mind for people out there
Yeah.
that there is still what we classify as affordable housing.
Yes. Yeah.
It is a condo, but I don't think the fees are outrageous.
Yeah.
No, not too bad.
No.
And what you get in return for those fees is quite
Mhm.
nice too, especially if you don't want to do the maintenance there, so it works out.
Mhm.
Right.
But I think to our conversation we were having yesterday, if you're trying to get into those newer builds, they're trying to find something from a builder at this point is
It's very
Like
very
pre-construction.
possible.
yeah, pre-construction is impossible to find these days.
Mhm.
Impossible. And
Mhm.
honestly, to wait that long
Mhm.
for the price that you're paying, they're on par with resale.
Mhm.
Which
Mhm.
is crazy. So, you know,
Mhm.
a lot of people have it in their head that buying a brand new house is going to be the better solution, but not always,
No.
especially if you look at Shelburne developments.
Yeah.
We all know there were a lot of hiccups with those developments when they were first built.
Yeah.
So,
A lot of delays.
yeah, you
Yeah.
spend the same money, you can buy resale, at least you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
Of course, finishes and so on is a little different, but lots of things to keep in mind if you're thinking about buying pre-construction.
Again, that's when you call and you have that
Yes.
conversation.
Yes. Yes.
And that's not even if you're interested in going right now, selling, buying right now, it's future plans. It's always good to kind of
Mhm.
research and understand what the market's doing if it's ever in your future.
Yeah.
And I think everybody needs somewhere to live, like you said. So
Yeah.
it's in everyone's future.
Side note though, talking about pre-construction,
Mhm.
have you guys driven by the Evergreen development in Shelburne lately?
I have not.
Not in a while.
They've started all the actual like infrastructure, the trees, the
Oh
pathways.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Beautiful.
well,
I
yeah.
love how they
Yeah.
brought in so much tree. Like they took out that field
Yes.
and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
have brought in so much. So
But
that's
as
nice.
well, I think people coming into Shelburne, it's going to give them a totally different
Mhm.
perspective on
Right.
the town,
Mhm.
Yeah.
which excites me.
Yes.
Because there's a ton of new businesses in town too.
There is.
Yeah.
Yes.
there's
Yeah. Shelburne is growing fast. Yeah.
Even like the main strip for a while, there was kind of like a ghost town and there was nothing and all the businesses seemed to kind of not be succeeding. So it's nice to see that.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a new tap house coming in, and there was another new tile company that just
I
went in
saw
on Main
that.
Street,
Yeah,
too.
I've checked out their website and stuff. It looks really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So really exciting to see,
Mhm.
especially for me, the downtown of Shelburne coming alive.
Well, that's
Since,
all we got for market stats.
Yeah.
Unless anybody has any questions,
Yeah.
doesn't look like it.
Everything on my
Just
side.
means we did an amazing job explaining it. So the next thing we were going to talk about
Mhm.
was obviously COVID-19. Sorry to be a bummer, but there are some new things we need to talk about in relation to real estate. Big topic of discussion is the vaccine passports.
Mhm.
So is that going to affect real estate as a whole. And in a nutshell, the Real Estate Council kind of came down with our rules and regulations. And there's not a whole heap to talk about, but in a nutshell, it's business as usual. Masks are always required. There's no exception to that. Hand sanitizer. You're, as a buyer's agent, so if you are a buyer, your agent is responsible for making sure that you and your family or whoever's going to see the property are vaccinated. But the big question was, well, what if I'm selling my home and I don't want unvaccinated people in my home? So basically, it's their house, it's their policy. If we were to list someone's property and a client came to us and said, listen, I want you to sell my home, whoops, don't break stuff. But I do not want people in my home that are unvaccinated. I would have to do my due diligence to make sure that I list that on the listing. Probably touch base with every buyer agent that is coming through before their appointment. However, that said, at the end of the day, as a selling agent, there's really only so much control you have. Other than you can ask your agent to be present at all showings to enforce this for you.
Yes.
However, at the end of the day, it all falls back onto the buyer agent because it's their clients are the ones that are supposed to be
Coming in.
watching.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But I think that hasn't really changed too much for the last 2 years. For the last 2 years, we've been signing a waiver saying that nobody's come in contact with somebody with COVID-19, that you're going in, there's no illness present. Also that there's no kids going into the houses. A lot of homeowners, sorry, someone just came by and said hello. We just wanted to make sure that our clients are safe, that the sellers are safe, and that we're doing everything on our end to make sure that there is no transmission, I suppose, is what I'm trying to get at there.
Yeah, I mean, since day one, we've been considered essential. Showings have never haltered. I don't know personally of any transmission cases from real estate.
No.
Not say that it can't happen, but honestly, we all just do our best. And as a buyer or seller, you have every right to ask questions and impose these restrictions on your home if you choose. Of course, keep in mind that could really rub people the wrong way, and you're really limiting your pool.
Total buyers, yeah, it goes both ways. Yeah.
So that's really all we had for our first episode here today. If anybody that is watching had any questions or anything like that.
I don't have anything on my side.
No, it's been a very quiet group.
So quiet. Everybody talk.
Anybody?
Mine's frozen.
Oh no.
Oh man.
Jessica's people don't ask questions.
No.
They probably asked so many questions that she got backlogged and froze.
That's what they all are.
You broke the internet.
That's gonna freeze on her face when it goes like that.
All right, so I think just to put out there so everyone knows, this is something we'll be doing once a month. So second Wednesday of every month, we want to be able to come on, chat with you, tell you what the market's doing, show you or share with you some experiences. We are hoping to work with some professionals in the industry, go on some field trips, show everybody what it's like to be in the world of real estate.
Yes.
So behind the science, what's going on back there?
Lots.
If you have any topics you'd like us to discuss, please send us a DM and we'll be sure to cover it.
Awesome.
Yeah. We just want to do a more fun way of covering the common questions. So we're hoping to have a stager in at some point.
Yes.
And talk about
Yeah.
what does that look like, especially in COVID? How does that work?
Yeah.
The ins and outs of using other people's things if you're still living in the house. Mortgage brokers, all that kind of stuff. So as the girl said, shoot us a message, DM us, let us know what you're interested in hearing about, and thank you everybody so much for joining today. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you next month behind the sign.
Behind the sign.
Behind the sign.
Bye.
See ya.
Enjoy your day.